and welcome to this edition of Conference USA Basketball on ESPN+. We welcome you to Bowling Green, Kentucky, the bottom of the hill, the campus of Western Kentucky University, where today the Hilltoppers of WKU welcome the Panthers of FIU. Here inside Diddle Arena, WKU so comfortable inside this historic venue, but the Hilltoppers looking for a bit of payback here today. Tyler Eaton joined in Diddle by former Hilltopper Craig McCormick. Craig, these two teams met in the Conference USA tournament opening round last year. The Panthers bounced the Hilltoppers then, and for WKU as of late, it's been a rough stretch, largely due to injuries.
It is. Western's been plagued by injuries. You know, you mentioned Western Kentucky here at home. They started out, had a great home schedule, home winning streak early, but they have struggled of late.
WKU trying to right the ship, but it's going to be a tall task against Corey Stevenson and FIU. Stevenson right now, Craig, playing perhaps the best basketball of anybody in this league.
He sure is. You know, he's second in Conference USA, 18.5 points a game, but 46% from the field, 42% from three-point range. He's scored in double figures in all 21 games. Lowest scoring output was 11 points against Nebraska in the second game of the season.
WKU still without their leading scorer and top 10 scorer in the conference, Tegan Moore, but very happy to have freshman Armello Boone back, averaging nearly 12 points per game. Their leading rebounder on the season at 6.5 rebounds per game without Bryant Silabonge, who's out for the season, played in the first 9 games, now out with a torn Achilles. He leads the Hilltoppers with nearly 7.5 rebounds per game in Conference USA play. The Hilltoppers, Craig, have been struggling to score the basketball from everywhere on the floor. They're going to have to find good looks against an FIU team that on both ends of the floor is going to look to dominate in the paint.
They sure are. You know, you mentioned Western Kentucky struggling. They just have, you know, Tegan Moore being out. He's a stabilizing force for this squad. But they're just struggling trying to find out the identity of who their scorers are right now.
This is the 5th straight game that Moore will be out for WKU since getting injured very late on a flagrant foul that was committed against him in the Liberty loss for the Hilltoppers. The last 4 games coming into today, they've shot just 33% from the floor on the season, shooting 39.5%. That is 362nd out of 365 teams in the country, but you can make up for that with some defensive work.
Exactly, and that's what TJ Hackman does for Western Kentucky, defensive specialist. But now, last outing, he scored 17 points, so that just kind of gives you an idea that you take your defensive presence guy and you're trying to make him an offensive threat.
That was the high mark of the season for Hackman, the transfer from Jones College. Left side, Terrion Murdix has it for WKU. Outside, Grant Newell had a look for 3, instead takes the mid-range J, and he buries it to put the Hilltoppers on the board.
Well, that's a good sign for Grant Newell because a lot of times he shoots from 3 and then he struggles getting it into the paint. But that mid-range game is what has been missing for him. Good start.
He's averaging 11 points per game as Boone is up with the steal for WKU. Armello all the way to the rim. Can't scoop it in with the right. Knocked out. Last touch by the Hilltoppers. That's what Boone does so well. You saw it highlighted as we were talking about him in the open. 1.4 steals per game. That's 6th in Conference USA. Only had 1 total in his last 4 games coming into this one. He's already got 1 in the first 53 seconds.
Well, he's a very athletic type of player. You saw him on that drive. That's where he has struggled this year, is finishing at the rim.
Hackman picks up the foul up top. WKU, you would like to think, will try to avoid those after on Thursday in their 71-66 loss to Jacksonville State. The Gamecocks took 50 free throws, the most attempts by any Conference USA team this season.
Well, and as part of that, they scored 36 points from the free throw line, more than they made from the field. They scored 71 total, so that kind of gives you what that night was all about.
What a finish there by Zadie Jackson, averaging 10.5 points per game, their best facilitator at 3.1 assists, and one of a group of several averaging over a steal per game as well, as on the sideline, Ola Inca knocks it out of bounds.
I like Florida International. You know, they've been pretty active down here on the defensive end. They're a team that gives up quite a few points, and they score a lot, but they give up quite a few points too.
They're giving up the most points in Conference USA, and in league play, scoring the most points in Conference USA play. Newell forces it down low, can't convert, and it's pulled down by Stevenson, who for all of his scoring also leads the Panthers at nearly 7 rebounds per game. Ola Inca drives. He has it swatted by Newell on the block, and Newell saves it into Boone as well. Back out to Newell. Guarded now by Ola Inca. Looking for Hackman on the baseline drive. Contact at the rim. They say it's played straight up there by Dabami.
Well, another contested attempt by Western Kentucky by the defense from FIU.
Dabami averaging nearly a block and a half per game on the season. That's 4th in CUSA. The Panthers as a team, 2nd in the conference in blocks per game. And to your point with those active hands, Craig, they're 7th in the country in steals. Cada gets it down low, coming off really a career stretch for the Hilltoppers as of late. 5 on the shot clock. Newell loses it. Hackman's just going to heave it from 5 feet off the line. It was a good look from there, but it's going to go out of bounds.
Looked like Stevenson's kind of joking over there a little bit. He kind of got away with a little forearm shove that you'd see on a Sunday afternoon.
It was fascinating to watch Stevenson warm up. He had mentioned out loud as he was getting prepped to his teammates, he said, "This is our Super Bowl." And he said several times that we're going to come into this place and win this game. He is talking as confident as you would think he would be with the way that he's playing, coming off a career-high 34 points in their win Wednesday in overtime against MTSU, the 2nd most points in a road game for any player in FIU history. Malenka has it up top, tries to get it to Stevenson, being harassed now by Ryan Myers in for the first time for WKU. Not known for his defense, but well known for what he does from three-point range. Speaking of that, Williamson fires and hits for FIU. Ashton Williamson dials up his 24th triple of the season.
You know, good ball movement. Stevenson kicked the ball out. Nice rotation to the weak side, and found an open jumper.
Panthers 3rd in the league, over 15 assists per game on the season. Cade Unseld in for WKU. Been a roller coaster of 2 games for him. Had a career-high 17 in the win against MTSU, then went 1 for 10 in the loss against Jacksonville State. Another block shot down low. This time Ola Inca can't save it. But again, you see the length and athleticism. This is something that we talked about before the game, Craig. It's going to be tough to get anything going against the Panthers if you can't pull those bigs out of the paint.
Exactly, and that's what is a deficit for Western Kentucky this year right now. You have Bryant Silabanga, 6'8" out. Louis Simona, 6'8" out. Noah Boyd is out, 7-footer. So inside, they're really struggling in the presence, and FIU has a big advantage on that tonight.
Murdix has it knocked away on the way up. You can tell through all of that, while we mentioned in the open that the freshman guard Armello Boone leads WKU in rebounds at 6.5 per game. Like you said, Noah Boyd still unavailable tonight for WKU, averaging 3 points, 3.5 rebounds. Blaze Cada still in there as the starting big. Had 14 rebounds in their win against MTSU as Unseld misses the three-pointer from the corner short, then picks up a foul, trying to chase it down in the process. Cada, though, has become a real focal point for this team, Craig, over the last 3 games, averaging 21 minutes per game, nearly 10 rebounds per game over that stretch, and he only averages 3 rebounds per game on the season.
Exactly, and that's where they've had to have that rotation in where he's getting more minutes. As you mentioned, he had 14 rebounds, kind of almost a career night, so to speak. He had 7 points also, which was a season high. He has only scored 46 points all season long, so 7 out of that gives you an idea. He's really not that much of a scoring threat.
He's become the primary big. He and Leroy Odiaye, who is in now for WKU, rotated back and forth. Odiaye was the breakout earlier in conference play, had a career-high 10 points in 25 minutes against Sam Houston, and now over the last 2 games he's only played 10 minutes each and not scored in either that MTSU win or the Jacksonville State loss.
Well, I see Coach Plona has rotated in Terrion Murdix. Murdix got 2 technicals the other night against Jack State and got disqualified, but so he didn't get the start today.
He and Boone both ejected from that game. Boone picked up a flagrant 2. Did get the start for the Hilltoppers on the right block. Foul called on the drive for Zadie Jackson, and the 6-foot senior from Stone Mountain, Georgia, will go to the line for 2.
Good baseline drive. Wow, that's interesting, coming back with the left hand. Of course, he's a left-handed player anyhow. No, right-handed.
It's the 2nd foul as well for Unseld already. I don't know if Coach Plone has recognized it yet.
Yep.
Or excuse me, they got it on Murdix, his 2nd foul, so he will come out as Hackman checks in. WKU just 1 for 8 from the floor. FIU have only gotten up 3 shots, but they made 2 of the 3. We talked about the shooting woes for the Hilltoppers. In conference play, shooting just 36% from the floor. If that was stretched over the entire course of the season, that would be the worst mark in the country. 6-2 as the Panthers split the free throws. The Hilltoppers so reliant on getting to the line. They're 3rd in the conference in free throw attempts. The Panthers 2nd and 17th in the country. They take 26 per game. Unseld a clean look for 3. Got it!
Well, he had a breakout, Unseld had a breakout game at Middle Tennessee last Saturday from the three-point line. Good to see him hit that first one.
Right side drive. There's the answer off the hand of Britt Harris, key player off the bench for the Panthers, averaging just about 6.5 points per game on the year. Makes it a 4-point lead for the Panthers. ODI can't get it to Myers. FIU defending much better than you would think from the team that gives up the most points in this league. Right corner, Newell faces up and puts it on the floor. Cut off by Devami. Again, the shot clock has run down inside 5 seconds. Myers kicks it out at the last moment. Unseld catches, fires, misses long, and it's chased down on the opposite side by Ibrahim Olajuwon.
Tyler, you think FIU, you're talking about they're playing pretty aggressive defensively but give up a lot of points. But when you're coming in against a team that struggles to score, does that just take your level up a little bit more, you think?
Well, we talked about the confidence that this team clearly had warming up, led by Stevenson. And when you're coming off a big overtime win, that bleeds over as the Panthers pick up a steal, as they're so good at doing. Into the right corner, Harris for 3. Missed it long, and it's pulled down on the elbow by Hackman. Nearly tripped up and carried it there. WKU 2 for their first 10 from the field. But they get the switch here with Hackman against Devami. Let's see if he tries to take advantage.
Offense is pretty stagnant for Western Kentucky.
Hackman, double team comes, leaves it off for ODI. Great hands, but he couldn't stuff it home, got hung up. And the Panthers bring it the other way. Harris right side drive, goes right into Myers, slips up, and the Hilltoppers get it right back. At the 3rd turnover already for the Panthers. They force the most in the conference, but they commit the 2nd most in the league as well. That's part of the balance that you get with this FIU team. And throw all the numbers out the window, it's been the defense that's been winning this game so far for the Panthers, holding WKU to 5 points through the first 6 minutes. As we go to our first break, it's FIU up 9-5 inside Diddle Arena. 9-5, FIU leading it early in the first half here inside Diddle Arena under 8th-year head coach Jeremy Ballard, already in the history books at FIU, the winningest head coach in program history. As you see there, just the 2nd coach to get to that 100 career win mark with the Panthers. Losing record overall, but he's 500 against WKU, 7-7 in his career, including bouncing Hank Plona and the Hilltoppers out of the Conference USA tournament a year ago. Plona, of course, with that legendary run at Indian Hills Community College, 225-35 in his 8 years there, 29-26 overall at WKU, 13-17 in Conference USA play. The Hilltoppers 5-7 up to this point. Craig, WKU 8th in the conference standing, FIU 9th. The top 10 go to the Conference USA tournament, and Grant Newell gets the first triple for WKU to fall through and put a bit of a dagger into that.
Well, you wonder if Coach Plona designed a play during that timeout break, because that was just a wide open look for Newell.
His first 3, the 2nd for the team. Unseld hit one earlier off the miss, rebounded by Cada, and WKU can take the lead as Jack Edlin leads the break into the front court. Edlin, the 5'10" junior, averaging 1.5 points per game as Newell back-to-back triples, and WKU, just like that, in a matter of 40 seconds, have scored more than they did in the first 6 minutes.
And Newell can really get going from outside, too. He had a heck of a game earlier this year at home against Tulsa.
On the 3rd effort, Ola Inca swoops in to drop it in for 2, and we're tied up at 11 apiece. I think both teams needed that timeout to pick things up a bit here inside Diddle. Edlin double, Cam Hafner chases over to get it. The 6'2" senior had not played in the last 3 games, goes to Newell, heat check, I think you can call them hot.
Yes. Well, you know, they're all three of those have been wide open looks for him. So maybe just getting a little bit further out extended has helped him get open and give him some distance against the Panthers defender.
Ashton Williamson gets the answer. Off the glass to go, 14-13. WKU up by 1. After we went into that first media timeout with FIU leading at 9-5 a minute and a half ago. Lost on the drive by Boone. The Panthers have numbers the other way, left underneath and fussed home with 2 hands by Oleinka. And WKU will quickly take a timeout.
I don't think Coach Plona was pleased with the hustle back on that defensively.
If nothing else, has to be pleased with the response from his guys out of the timeout. 3 triples from Grant Newell. WKU has cut the lead to 1. WKU started this game 2 for 11 from the field before they get back-to-back triples from Grant Newell, already into double figures, matching his average with 11 points.
Well, the Florida International player tried to step out and help defense and then lost his defender, couldn't rotate back to get to Newell. Another time, a little good ball movement by Edlin here. Now Hafner kicks it over, coming off the weak side and steps up and knocks the shot down.
There's something different about a confident Grant Newell. He is streaky, he'll give you the ups and he'll give you the downs, but Coach Plona has ridden with him through both of them. He's had as many as 28 in a tight loss on a buzzer beater against Tulsa here inside Diddle Arena. This is the 17th time he's been in double figures this season. WKU 10-6. When he gets to that mark, just 2-5 when he's been held to single digits. As we get back underway, he's on the bench for a moment as Hackman controls into the front court for WKU. Trying to barrel inside, can't get anywhere. Help comes, it leaves Boone open for 3. Rattles off, Unseld with the offensive rebound. It's swatted down low, sends it out to Hafner for another try. Got it to go.
Boy, for a Western Kentucky team that hasn't shot the ball well of late, come out and hit 5 threes early in this game.
And what a big shot for Cam Hafner. Hadn't played the last 3 games. That the 152nd three-pointer of his career. 28th of the season, shooting about 35% from deep. Deep right-handed hook shot misses for Olajuwon. And here comes WKU with a 2-point lead. That one thrown away by Boone, just threw it right to Olajuwon.
Yeah, I think he was trying to look for the big kid, Odiahi, going down the middle, but you also have to remember what's Odiahi going to do if he catches a ball in traffic like that. So, you know, Boone will learn as time goes on when and where to throw the ball.
Great finish in transition by Britt Harris. He's got 4, and we're tied up at 17 apiece. Left side triple, left short by Unseld. It'll roll out of bounds. FIU already with 4 fast break points in this ball game. They average about 15.5 per game. That's the top number in Conference USA. 22nd in the country, and we've seen it firsthand. Whenever they get a rebound, whenever they force a turnover, they want to run and try to score.
Yeah, here we are 9 minutes plus into this game, and Stevenson for Florida International has only attempted 1 shot and scoreless.
You heard that stat. If you're FIU, certainly happy to have a 17-17 game at this point. Nice find on the block. Left-handed finish falls through for Dabami. Off the feed from Sukotsky, the Argentinian, the 5'10 freshman who has come in off the bench, and every time he's out there playing, if you watch the film, he's just got that Argentinian style to him, a great facilitator and extremely crafty.
Well, and the big guy inside, you know, did a good job of using his left hand and keeping it away from Odiahi on the block attempt.
Hafner flips it up, can't get it to go. Cada fighting for the board, now ball on the floor. We're gonna get a jump ball called. Arrow will keep it with WKU, as Dabami was unable to control it initially.
Well, you can see the players battling here for it. Nobody could really come up with it.
We mentioned the paint battle being so important. FIU 12 of their 19 in the painted area. WKU is yet to score in the paint in this game. And before Hafner can hit the 3, they say his back foot was on the line. And FIU gets it back before what would have been the 6th triple of the game for the Hilltoppers. They've only made one two-pointer, and it was a free throw line jumper from Newell. He was back in there with his 11.
Yeah, and that was the first basket of the game.
Easy drive and finish. Hafner just couldn't do anything against the 6'10 freshman frame of Dabami, who has been so good in an era where most teams are going to be filled with juniors and seniors in the rotation. Dabami's come in averaging nearly 9.7 rebounds per game and has looked good so far today. Hackman stops, pops, tries to get those first paint points, can't, but Blaze Cada can.
Well, Cada has pretty good size for himself there and kept the ball up high so that Florida International defenders couldn't get to it and finish with the left.
21-19, Cada with his first 2 points to go along with 3 rebounds. Sukotsky being pressured up top, gets away from Cada off the switch. What a pocket pass, and what a flush again. It's Sukotsky to Dabami.
Boy, nice dish. What he did is he kept his dribble going, and Western players were caught on the backside of him, trailing him. Cada came out, couldn't get the double team, and opened it up for Florida International in the dunk.
The Argentina to Cameroon connection. As FIU with another deflection. They are extremely active defensively. It's not just on-ball steals. They deflect passes, get out and run, and they try to knock them into the backcourt. And now they've made their last 4 shots overall, shooting 56% from the floor. WKU just 33%, but they've got those 5 threes.
And they also contest shots very well. How many blocks do they have, Tyler?
As that one misses by Hafner. They've got so far 2 blocks.
Just 2?
Down to the painted area.
They've contested other ones.
Well, and even with their length, just a mild contest is a tough one. Sukotsky gets it in the left corner. He's going to fire a 3. That one misses off the heel, and Murdix chases it down for WKU.
Have you ever seen such a flat ball on that shot? I mean, there was hardly any rotation on it.
Hackman's rattles out on the other end. ODI can't take it away. And again, the Panthers want to run. Zadie Jackson into the paint, stops on the block, clears it out up top, and they hand it back to Sukotsky. On another drive, leaves it down low once again with the baby hook, misses long. Dabami can't cash in this time. And WKU find points here. Murdix to Hafner. Got it to go.
Well, the thing that has changed for Western Kentucky is getting some open looks. I think Florida International is over-rotating at times and leaving Western Kentucky, and they're doing a better job of keeping the floor spread out further away instead of trying to get inside and play into Florida International strength.
Dabami leaves it down low. What a tough finish from Ola Inca. And the Panthers just continue to enforce their will in the paint. You said in your mind that was going to be the biggest key in this game. They've already scored 18 points down in that red area.
Yeah, I thought the bigs just look at them. They're very athletic.
Newell for 3 off the right side this time. Feels wrong to see him miss a shot at this point with how he started. And here comes FIU the other way. Sukotsky again drops it off, this time on the elbow to Dabami. He needs help. Leaves it on the right block, Ola Inca, and again, this time it's the big to the big, elbow to block, and FIU moving it extremely well. 7 assists on their 12 made shots.
Yeah, they're playing with a lot of confidence inside right now, these last half dozen possessions.
Hafner gets a screen, drives in, leaves it at the last moment. ODI can't finish because he's fouled on the way up, and he'll have 2 free throws out of the break. That offense looked like what FIU has been doing the last few sequences.
Exactly. You know, nice dish by Hafner. That's something he's not really known for. He's known for three-point shooting shots.
Panthers shooting it at nearly 55% from the floor. They've weathered the early WKU run and lead it by 5. 27-22, FIU leading WKU inside Diddle Arena. 27 points on the board, 20 of them scored in the paint, and so much of it, Craig, has come off of this dribble drive penetration, either with a finish down low or a pass at the last moment.
Yeah, they're as you saw in that last play, you're seeing a nice roll and finish here with a nice little short interior pass. But, you know, the bigs are just getting themselves open, and they're working hard inside. Between Oliinka and Dabami, they've scored 14 of the 27.
And those two combined, 7 for 10 from the floor. And all 7 makes have been about as easy as you can get them.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're at the rim or dunking it, it's makes things a little bit easier.
But WKU sticking around.
Well, and we did talk about earlier in the broadcast, remind people that Western Kentucky's bigs have really been hit hard by injuries and being out.
Yeah.
So they're shorthanded on the interior.
Bryant Silabonge, who was their starting forward from the beginning of the year, their leading rebounder, if he was active, at nearly 7 points or 7 rebounds per game. He's been out since the first 9 games of the season. The 7-footer Noah Boyd, the LSU transfer, out again here tonight, the 4th straight game they're without him, as Odi Ai, one of the 2 bigs in that rotation between he and Kada, splits the free throws and cuts the FIU lead down to 4. Those are the first 2 attempts for WKU. FIU just 2 tries, a much different game than the 74 total free throws that were seen here inside Diddle Arena on Thursday night.
Yeah, I thought about asking the referee to please don't blow the whistle like happened here on Thursday night.
There's Corey Stevenson on the board. You'd mentioned a couple of times, just 1 shot attempt so far there. Buries his 49th triple of the year. As good as he is inside, he's a 43% three-point shooter as well, and extends the lead back out to 7 for the Panthers.
You know, sometimes coming out of a timeout like that, Coach Ballard probably diagrammed a play to get him started.
Boone, right side, gets a bump, and they'll have a baseline inbound. I was actually talking to one of the officials for today's game, Ryan McCarty, and we were chatting about how they had looked, and they knew what happened in that game on Thursday, and I said, Ryan, here's what I'll say. If there are 73 free throws or less in this game, I think everybody will be delighted.
Yeah.
ODI gets it down low, sends it out to Myers, 15 on the shot clock. Myers, contested shot on the left elbow, doesn't get the bounce, trying to tip it back in himself, but couldn't get that either, and here come the Panthers. Ashton Williamson pushes it to the elbow. Now goes back outside to Stevenson. Unsettled on him, wants an isolation, now drops it off down low to Dabami against ODI. Dabami powers his way through, fakes right, goes back left, missed it long, knocked out. We'll go to WKU.
Where you can see a player playing with a lot of confidence in Dabami, asking for that ball on the interior there. He was really looking for it, working hard, and just couldn't finish with the left hand. I guess they're looking to coach's challenge here to see who the ball went out of bounds on.
Find out
that's what it is.
officially. Going to assume with you that's the case. That's exactly what it is, as Ryan McCarty comes over to tell us. It is a review to see if it was in fact last touched by WKU.
You see Boone touch it there, but then that's a tough one. Boy, that's off of 2 players almost. It looks like maybe off. I would almost, in that look, it looks like Boone maybe was the last one to touch it, but they're calling it white ball, right? Isn't that what he said?
I think the tough part here is, I believe they had originally said that it was FIU ball, and the review was to see if it would flip to be WKU basketball. Whatever that initial call was, I don't know how you can overturn anything in this spot.
Yeah, no.
Of course, both fans of both teams watching at home, I'm sure, could let us know how each team touched it last, and it's out of bounds, and it should be both teams' basketball.
That's right.
But certainly appreciate you joining us wherever you're tuning in from. It's been a fun one so far. Started extremely slow, with both teams struggling to find it through the first media timeout. Then WKU came out with an explosion quickly from Grant Newell, hit 3 straight threes to put the Hilltoppers ahead for a moment, but FIU has responded extremely well on both ends of the floor, and now the Hilltoppers have gone nearly the last 3 minutes of game time without a made field goal, while FIU is still shooting extremely well from the floor overall, 54%. And we're going to get an official ruling on this one. So it was initially called WKU basketball, and they are going to flip it to, like you said, be off of Armello Boone. and go to FIU. So it's a successful challenge. I thought the initial ruling, by the way that they motioned and all the players, I guess, reacted, was that it was FIU basketball in the first place.
Tyler, I guess next time I'll wear some black and white stripe over here instead of a collared shirt.
You're one for one for everyone keeping
I got
track.
lucky on that one. Sometimes you do.
Got to stop while you're ahead.
Yep.
So FIU gets it off the challenge. Stevenson collects the inbound in the corner, now looks to drive against Myers. Fakes on the block, goes up the second time, pushed it long, and it's cleared by WKU. The Hilltoppers have done a great job against Stevenson. It's just been everybody else. Edlin collects deep on the right wing. Stevenson guarding him. ODI trying to set a screen, finally does. Now it goes to Boone. Myers jabs, fires from the corner. All the way around and out. Boone gets the rebound, left-handed putback, no. And it's rebounded by Olajuwon. WKU 6 for 16 beyond the arc. They're 2 for 12 inside it.
Western Kentucky comes back down and goes into a zone.
Myers knocks it away. And we're going to get an offensive 3 seconds against FIU before what likely would have been a turnover anyway. And the Hilltoppers get it back, still trailing by 7.
I think they got Diabani for being in the lane too long. Once again, I mentioned just a short while ago about his playing with a lot of confidence and demanding the ball. That time he just camped out too long.
Hilltoppers had a platoon swap there. Boone, the only player to stay on the floor. As Newell drives, gets cut off, gives it out to Keita. WKU trying to find any offense right now. Just one of their last 7 from the floor. Back inside 10 on the shot clock. Murdoch's double teamed on the right wing. To Newell, one more, Hafner. Misses it long, but it's rebounded by Keita on the opposite side. Murdoch's back to Hafner, will try again. Hits it this time. How about Cam Hafner with 3 triples in the first half?
Good rotation by Murdoch finding Hafner. Hafner came from all the way on the opposite side of the court to get open.
Right corner, Stevenson tries to respond and does.
He knew right when that one left his hand, he was bottoming.
Panthers only shoot it at 33% from outside in conference play. That's 10th in the league. They're 3 for 6 today. Boone drives, lost it, kicks. Newell catch and shoot. It rattles off. Boone fighting for it. Keita comes in as well to tie it up. And it's going to go to FIU. The officials discussed, looked like initially they might call a foul, but the call is jump ball. And when we come back, FIU will have it, leading 33-26 here at WKU in this Conference USA matchup. 33-26, FIU leading WKU. Tyler Eaton and Craig McCormick with you. The biggest development in this game early on for the Hilltoppers, despite the early deficit, is the reemergence of Cam Hafner. Had not played the last 3 games for WKU, but what a way to earn your spot back in the rotation, then with 3 triples in the opening half.
Yeah, the second one was a wide open look, and then the third one, he ended up coming from the far side. You see him flash across the screen there, going to the corner and bearing it. But yeah, I mean, you almost feel like he got out of the flavor with coach there and sat for 3 games, and then all of a sudden give him credit for stepping up and responding. But Western Kentucky, they started the game 1 for 5 from 3-point range. They've made 6 out of their last 14. 19 attempts out of 31 from 3-point range. And this is a squad that, as you said, Tyler, in the start, shooting terribly from 3 and relying too much on missed threes.
They're 11th in league play in 3-point percentage, but they've been excellent from out there tonight. Here comes Hafner the other way, off the block, leaves it down low. Newell scoops it through, and the FIU lead is 5. Harris stuck on the wing. WKU wanted to travel. No call comes in. Pass deflected by Boone. Still being fought for now. It's whipped into the right corner. Jackson for 3. That one short. Murdoch skies to get it.
It's amazing what happens when you make a few shots. Your defense intensity kind of turns up a little bit for Western Kentucky.
Murdoch kicks it at the last moment. Hafner, short. And foul will be called on the floor. Far side, Keita was just tangled up with Ola Inca going for that board.
Maybe they called it on Ola Inca. Yeah.
They do. It looked like they just gotten completely tangled.
Yeah, I think he might have reached back, wrapped around, and kind of was holding Keita. I didn't see the entire play, but that's what I kind of demised from it here. Well, that was just pretty much the takedown. You didn't see how it occurred.
Just the third foul on FIU, only 3 for each team. Anybody that tuned into the WKU Jacksonville State game on Thursday, more than happy to hear those numbers. Just 4 total free throws taken, 2 for each team, in a matchup between two teams that are both top 35 in the country in free throw attempts per game. As
you know what?
We're going to get a review here. Coach Ballard was yapping at the official for a moment, trying to show through his understanding what happened.
You know, and Tyler, you talk about free throws here and how many there were fouls and free throws the other night, and disproportionately against WKU. But this one here is you know, this crew today, this afternoon, is letting players play to a point where there's not too much grabbing, holding, excessive aggressiveness. It's just good play, good solid play is what they're allowing.
And the review here is actually to see, despite the fact that the foul on the floor went against Ola Inca, if there was a flagrant foul there against Keita for pulling Ola Inca down with him. You saw him there on the ground after the play motioning at his jersey like that's what he felt was the case during that sequence, and that's exactly what Coach Ballard was trying to get across to the officials when they were getting that review going. As it stands, it would be WKU basketball with 2:02 left in this opening half. FIU averaging nearly 80 points per game in Conference USA play. That's the top mark in the league. Just 33 on the board so far, but shooting it at 52% from the field up to this point.
We just had a little look of Coach Ballard for Florida International over there in his huddle. You know, here's a coach that came out of played ball at Colgate. First 2 years at Florida International were dynamic. He had 2 good squads, and then COVID hit at a time that shut down, you know, all of college basketball. And he was really looking forward to that Conference USA tournament at that time because he had a good squad. But since then, struggles have occurred. He's not had a winning season since that time.
Went 39-27 in those 2 years that you referenced, and like you said, the best team he had was that team going into the Conference USA tournament. And a lot of WKU fans will tell you the best team that WKU has had in recent years was going into that Conference USA tournament. They got canceled in 2020 because of COVID. Do believe we're going to get the officials still discussing it. Started to walk over here. We'll see what the ruling is going to be. Both teams were set to walk back onto the floor, and then they motioned them back to their respective side.
Yeah, and the clip that we have on the replay doesn't go back far enough, I don't think, to show the start of that play to see where it all initiated, or maybe if Keita did grab the jersey or not.
I think the extended look that we saw showed the grabbing motion. It's just here, is it going to be deemed enough for the flagrant? We'll find out.
Ball on the floor stands, just common foul, rebounding foul, going back to point interruption on the headline, 20 seconds on the shot clock, and since they're unsuccessful, they get charged with timeout.
Might have been able to hear it through the microphone, but the challenge is unsuccessful. WKU will not be charged with a flagrant foul there against Keita, and it'll be Hilltopper basketball. 20 seconds on the shot clock. FIU charged a timeout in the process after they won their first challenge. Coach Ballard not shy to use them.
Well, give Ryan McCarty his credit on that. Very descriptive in giving us that information.
He's done a great job with both of those. As Hafner scoops it across the lane and gets the bounce, and it falls through. Just the 8th two-pointer of the season for Cam Hafner. What a first half he's had in the double figures after not playing the last 3 games. Another drive and a dish down low, faking twice as Dabami finally goes up and draws contact. So out of the timeout, FIU goes right back to that combination of Sukotsky off the bench and Dabami. Those two just play so well together.
Boy, I mean, very deceptive on his dishes on the interior there. And Diabami, you got to give him credit. Controlled his footwork and did not travel inside, and very patient, trying to get a look up and drawing the foul.
Can you tell by watching them out there on the floor together that they both played at Miami Prep?
Good combination between the two. They've done that a time or two, is what you're trying to say.
Yes, Sukotsky already 3 assists in this ball game coming off the bench. He averages 2.4 per game for the Panthers, who as a team are 7-1 this year when they get over 16 assists. They've already got 10 in this game, and now lead at 35-30 off the free throws. Murdix gives it to ODI, now in as the big. Boone wraps around to the right block, takes contact, checks it out to Newell for 3. Long, and skying in to get it is Dabami. Britt Harris quickly into the front court. Controlled by Ashton Williamson, back to Harris. 4 points so far for him, to Williamson for 3 from the left wing. This is opposite side. Here comes Newell for WKU. Leaves it off for Murdix, then gets it right back. Has it knocked away. Great hands by Williamson, but Murdix able to chase it down. Leaves Boone open for 3 in the left corner. Off the front side of the rim. Hilltoppers have cooled off a bit from downtown. Now 7 for 22 from out there for the ball game. Extra pass into the corner. Clean look for Williamson, and he hits it. Second triple of the night for Ashton Williamson.
Florida International did a great job there. They caught Hafner in no man's land. He was trying to guard 2 people and couldn't.
Just move it extremely well, especially with Sukotsky in there. Here comes Murdix all the way to the rim. Tough finish on the left side. No, Boone tried to flush it but missed. And FIU has 15 seconds to work with and an advantage as Boone tries to hustle back defensively. He recovers and Sukotsky holds it. There's the screen from Dabami. He'll flip up a floater all the way around and out. Murdix will have a chance to heave it at the horn. Short, and that will bring the opening half to a close. FIU shoots 50% exactly from the field. We talked about WKU having to right the ship in that department, Craig. 29% they shoot it from the floor, and the three-point shooting has even dipped to 32%. With all those numbers, I don't think you can even complain about an 8-point halftime deficit.
Not the way that Western Kentucky has been shooting of late. You know, this is kind of an anomaly for them, but they have relied so heavily on the three-point shot tonight.
38-30, FIU leads it over WKU. We'll get you all the numbers from the opening half when we come back from the break. FIU leading WKU at the break 38-30 inside Tittle Arena. Tyler Eaton and Craig McCormick with you as we're just a couple minutes away from getting the second half underway. So let's take a look back now at what we saw in that opening half from an FIU team that didn't have a single player in double figures, but 6 between 4 points and 8 points. And a stat that really stood out to you, Craig, in that opening half: 15 made shots on 11 assists, and you see plenty of that ball movement in these highlights.
Yeah, they do an excellent job of finding their teammates, helping each other, feeding off of each other. And then you just saw that last dunk there. You know, 20 points in the paint for Florida International, only 6 for Western Kentucky.
And they go 4 for 9 from outside, not taking them often, but getting clean looks and knocking them down, compared to a WKU team that has been surviving solely on the 3 ball, getting 3 of them from Grant Newell and 3 more from Cam Hafner. It was all Newell early on for WKU before Hafner came in to give him some help.
Well, and you saw they were forced after that block shot to kick it outside to Hafner. Another clean look here by Newell, coming off of a little curl underneath, and then I think this is the one where Hafner just steps back. Murdix finds him very easily. So, you know, but once again, I don't know if Western Kentucky can continue to shoot the ball from 3 in the second half. I don't know if they can put 2 halves together or not.
Well, and realistically, the percentage only 32%.
Yeah.
It's been basically out of necessity with the size of FIU and their athleticism out on the perimeter. As we take a look at our top players from the opening half, Newell obviously with his 3 triples already with 13 points. That's over his average on the season. Dabami 2 points away from being in double figures for the 12th time this year leads the team with 5 double-doubles as just a freshman, originally from Cameroon, as we mentioned, played at Miami Prep alongside backup point guard Tiago Sukotsky, and of those 3 field goals, at least 2 of them came off direct feeds from Sukotsky.
Yeah, exactly, you know, where they're feeding off of each other. We're talking about Newell here with 13 points. We did mention earlier that he had a standout game back in December here at home against Tulsa, scored 28 points, very reliant on the three-point shot in that game for his success.
In that game in particular, went 6 for 8 from outside. WKU lit it up from 3. That's why they were so tight in that game against Tulsa. Where do they find the answer so far? We just talked about it at the break, and Craig, I'm going to pitch it to you because you teased it a little bit. You're just 4 for 16 inside the arc. You're only 7 for 22 from 3, but you've already taken 22 three-pointers. If you keep up that pace, you're going to shoot 40 in this game, but you're shooting better from 3 than you are from 2. Is it about generating better looks inside? What does this offense need to look like in the second half if WKU wants to try and claw back?
Yeah, that's a tough one because this Florida International defense in the paint is just strong. We talked about their length. And Western's interior presence with their big guys are depleted. They really don't have the scoring from Keita and Odiahi on the inside, so that creates the void there for Western Kentucky.
It'll help if they continue to control the basketball like they have. Just 4 turnovers so far. FIU forcing around 15 per game on the season. That's the top mark in Conference USA. 13th in the country as Boone gets them started down low. Perhaps the answer, as we discussed, try to find better looks around the rim.
Yeah, Boone came out of the corner, nice slip underneath, even though Stevenson had his jersey held, but was able to finish there. Like the referees, no call on that either.
Keita's fouled down low off the rebound from the Stevenson miss. Just his 5th field goal try in this one, 6 points so far, all from three-pointers. And immediately, Olainka's going to check out. And they go to Ibrahim because that's the 3rd foul on Olainka. He is the only one on either side in remotely any foul trouble. Keita gives to Boone, stuck at the top of the key. Falling down, gives it off to Murdix. Back to Boone, catch and shoot 3. Short, and it's pulled down by Williamson. Boone still trying to find that shot from outside, just a 23% shooter on the season. Here another foul called, so perhaps the whistle going to tighten up a little bit in the second half.
Yeah, Hackman just had him on a hold there, coming off trying to slip off the screen. That was an easy one right in front of Kevin Mathis over there.
Turned into a bit of tug of war both ways, but I think you're right, Hackman started it. We've had just 6 free throws taken in this one in a matchup between 2 teams that combined take 51. Both top 3 in Conference USA, top 35 in the country. Williamson on the right side drive, missed it way long. I think he got stuck between trying to pass it and shoot it and tried to do both. Newell, one more, Boone, this time fakes the 3 on the drive. Armello Boone left it short, but a foul called as he was trying to navigate around the body of Olajuwon down low.
You know, had Boone finished that with that little finger roll that he was trying to do there, it would have looked nice, but he would be so better served by just taking it up with 2 hands and kissing it off the backboard there a little bit. He really relies on just trying to finish with 1 hand, and maybe he could improve his makes if he takes 2 hands in there and uses the backboard some.
It was Dabami that picked up that foul. Olajuwon was initially out there. That's who Boone beat off the dribble. Armello on the season, a 70% free throw shooter. WKU now just 1 for 3 at the line, make it 2 for 4. And it's a 5-point game, 38-33. FIU led by as much as 8, their halftime margin. Dabami drives and another foul called up top.
Yeah, Hackman got it again.
Yep.
Stevenson was trying to cut down the lane and Hackman hooked him again.
So he'll come out, Ryan Myers back in. Myers on the season averaging 10.6 points per game. His 6 home games in Conference USA play, he's averaging 3.5 3-pointers per game. He's only taken 2 so far today, missed both.
Yeah, he's a very capable scorer, especially here of late. He had 20 the other night, but just really hasn't looked in the groove this afternoon.
Hit 4 threes in that game against Jacksonville State to lead WKU with 20 points. Here comes Newell the other way for the Hilltoppers. Can't get it to go, but Cada flushes it back. Stuck near there is Stevenson. Fortunate that Jackson is there. WKU's trimmed it to 3. They go down low to Bami. He's stuck down there on the block. Jump ball is the call. Arrow will keep it with the Panthers. That was a great job by Cada not to get stuck in air.
It was. I think Murdix was stuck on him. Yeah, there he is on the first post off, and then Cada came over and helped out. Did a good job. As soon as the ball was presented to him, he tied it up.
And despite the 3 fouls, Coach Ballard goes right back to Ola Inca. Stabami will go to the bench. Left side jumper swished home by Stevenson.
That's kind of what we were expecting out of Stevenson coming into this one.
He's guarding Boone deep on the left wing. Left side it goes to Murdix. Runs into trouble. Cada hands to Myers, 10 on the shot clock. Fires with a deep 2 off the left side, no. Last touch by the Panthers, it'll stay with WKU. Shot clock resets to 20. Odiaye and Cada will swap. Cada with 4.6 rebounds so far to lead the Hilltoppers on the board. They've got the edge in that department, 26-22 overall, but 12 of their 26 have been offensive rebounds. They've taken 9 more shots than FIU, but made 3 less.
Because of those missed threes, long rebound opportunities.
Myers to Unseld. 8 on the shot clock with Boone. It's 3 points on 1 for 7 shooting so far. Has to fire up shot number 8, misses it long. Odiaye with the rebound. Myers has an open look for 3. That one way off on the left side, was affected by the late contest that came in from the long arms of Stevenson.
Yeah, last 2 shots by Myers were not the best looks.
Stevenson gets it against Unseld. And he's grabbed at the elbow. Already the 3rd foul against WKU in the second half.
Well, Cade Unseld has a lot of potential. You know, he kind of had that breakout game at Middle Tennessee last Saturday from the 3. But defensively is where he needs to improve, where he struggles a little bit.
It's Myers now on Stevenson. They try to switch it before the 3. He misses. And here comes Armello Boone. He's got 5 rebounds despite the offensive struggles. Now gives it off to Murdix. Scoreless so far, gets all the way to the rim and changes that with the spinning layup.
Boy, what a play by Murdix off the spin. Once again, I mean, 2 Florida International players are right there contesting the shot.
Hilltoppers attacking the rim to get the second half underway. FIU looking to do the same as the little baby hook misses from Harrison. Here comes Murdix the other way, all the way to the rack. Once more, it's swatted off the glass by Stevenson. Was picked up by Unseld, but he loses it. Panthers have numbers the other way, all the way to the rack. Boone contests, but a good finish by Zadie Jackson. And Coach Plona wants a replay on that last shot to check for goaltending.
Or did Ballard take a timeout or no?
Ballard immediately took the timeout coming out of the break. We'll see if they're able to review this or not when we come back. 42-37, FIU leading it over WKU. No review during the break, so the score remains 42-37 FIU over WKU. This was the sequence right before Murdix going up with it. Looks from there, a clean block from Stevenson, who swooped in to get it. Then the Panthers pick up the steal, race the other way, and are able to get a bucket in transition to push that lead out to 5. Craig, we've mentioned this a couple of times. That's where this team is so dangerous. Only 5 turnovers in this one for WKU, but the Panthers have scored 8 points off those 5 turnovers.
I mean, they're just taking advantage of the opportunities that presents themselves. I mean, that time, you know, you get the play and you drive all the way down to the floor and score. I mean, that's not supposed to happen when you're that far in the in the back court. Front court, I mean.
Murdix will bring it up for the Hilltoppers. Hafner checked in during that break after his 3 triples in the opening half. Up top, Unseld being pressured tightly by Stevenson. His energy is picked up in this second half. Hafner gets his first touch in the second half, all the way to the rack. Missed the layup long, just lost it on the way up. Tough to say if you rule that as a missed shot or a turnover, because I think he just lost possession. Britt Harris on the left wing. Now they go down low. Barreling in is Dabami. Fakes once over ODI. He tries to spin back left. He's completely
Crouching
stuck.
him. Yep.
And has to reset with Sukotsky. Now 8 on the shot clock. Sadiq Jackson gets inside. Kicks it out right corner. Stevenson for 3. Around and out. Batted by ODI. Hafner up with it. Myers comes to get it. 0 for 6 from the floor, 0 for 3 from deep. Now ODI needs somebody to come to get it. Murdix does. Murdix 2 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Myers a contested look before the horn, and he gets it to go. They just needed something to happen there. Nothing was moving, and Myers makes it happen.
Yeah, he didn't look too good on his first 2 3-point attempts, but he sure did on that one.
Sukotsky flips once again down low to Dabami. This time the contact comes in against ODI. And Dabami will have 2 more free throws when we come back. The FIU lead was 8 at the half. It's down to 2, 14:23 left to go. It could go either way still inside Diddle Arena. WKU took 22 threes in the opening half of this ball game against FIU. They've only taken 3 in the second half, but it's the third one that connects as the shot clock was ticking down. Ryan Myers just jabs and fires the contested look and gets it to go. For his first triple of the game, he's 1 for 4 from outside with just 3 points. He's a 41% three-point shooter on the season, 6th in the league in three-pointers per game. And of all the looks WKU's taking, Craig, he's still the guy that you would look to despite the theatrics we've seen from Newell and Cam Hafner. If you need a 3-point shot, they're still going to turn to Myers.
Yeah, I wonder if Coach Plona asked him to kind of maybe step up his game a little bit at halftime, realizing that they needed another threat besides just Newell and Hafner from the outside.
Dabami gets the first of these 2 free throws to go. He's now 3 for 3 from the game. FIU 5 for 5 as a team. 10th in the league in percentage at 68 this year.
Haven't you been impressed with Dabami?
Oh,
100%.
Today? The freshman from Cameroon, as the second one falls through now in double figures for the 12th time this season. Had a season-high 21 in that overtime loss against Liberty. And is on his way at this point with his 5 rebounds to put a run at his 6th double-double of the year. That triple off the mark, and here comes FIU the other way with Britt Harris. They go big to big here with Dabami and Ola Inka on the floor. Dabami spins through, steps back to the right, doesn't get it to go off the back iron. It does end up with Ola Inka, his follow no good, and here comes Hafner. Newell to Unseld, now Hafner comes to get it up top. Myers left side guarded by Williamson. Goes all the way to the right block between 2 defenders, left it short. Boone tips it, can't control it. Last touch by FIU goes off the fingertips of Ola Inka.
Well, that's that little extra hustle by Boone coming in there. He's a very good offensive rebounding guy. He can fly in there. That's what he did on that play, just kept the ball alive and active.
It's like when he sees a shot go up, it's just a missile that fires off towards the rim to try to go make something happen.
That's a good description there.
He may not collect it, but my goodness, he's going to try to get a finger on it. Right corner, Unseld catch and shoot 3. Got it to go off the inbound.
You know, it seems like Unseld really prefers shooting out of each corner.
That one airmailed, and it goes back to WKU in a 1-point game. Unseld, the redshirt freshman from Warren Central here in Bowling Green, won his fair share of region championships on this floor inside Diddle Arena. was a state champion with the Dragons in 23, willed them to a region title in 24 that really most people pointed and said there was no business that Dragon team won, and just carried them to a championship to get back to Rupp Arena for the state tournament. He's hit a couple of threes tonight, now chases this one down on the near side as WKU tries to take the lead. They haven't led since the 11-minute and 40-second mark in the first half. Newell with a huge size advantage here. FIU has to double, gives Myers a look for three. Off to the left side, but Cada clears it. Back outside, one on the shot clock. Newell at the horn, got it!
Well, Coach Plona was adamant on the sideline, realizing that Myers' shot did not hit the rim and implored Newell to pull up.
Floater misses from Sukotsky, but FIU gets a second chance, just their 6th offensive rebound of the game. Williamson cut off, leaves it off down low, and what touch from Dabami with one hand from 8 feet out. Up ahead, Newell, right wing triple, give it to him!
Well, we saw him hit 3 threes consecutively in the first half. Here's 2 of them.
They've now taken 30 and hit 11. Left side, that one misses, but nobody came up to cover Williamson. Now Stevenson gets a look, and he responds from downtown. Corey Stevenson with his 3rd triple. He's hit 4 in 2 straight games coming into this one. Over 20 points in his last 3, averaging 26 per game over that stretch, coming off the career-high 34 on Wednesday against MTSU. Cada drives off the dribble, goes right into the body of Dabami and scores! Has Blaze Cada ever dribbled in from the wing and scored it himself? Williamson loses it. Who touched it last? He did. And it's back to WKU as the Diddle Arena crowd, for the first time tonight, comes to life. WKU leading it 51-49. Newell up to 19 points with 5 triples to pace the Toppers, who lead it by 2. 51-49, WKU in the lead, 11:29 left to go. Conveniently, it was around the 11-minute mark in the first half. The Hilltoppers last led this game. That was because of the antics from deep from Grant Newell, who hit 3 straight threes in the first half. He hit back-to-back here to put WKU back ahead, both several feet off the 3-point line. The Hilltoppers went 7 for 22 from 3-point range in that first half. Craig, they have arguably taken the same looks here in the second half. They've just made a higher percentage now, 4 for 8 from 3 in the second half.
Yeah, and once again, the first half they started 1 of 5. They started, I think, 1 of 4 in this, and then had a thing. Here it is, Tyler. You take a look at Western Kentucky guards shooting in this ball game. Hackman, Murdix, Armello Boone, Ryan Myers, 3 of 24 shooting from the field.
Wow. Myers trying to get one to go here, can't do it, but it's rebounded by Boone. Back out to Myers. Hesitates from the elbow, hops through, kicks it out to Unseld. Now back up to Boone, 15 on the shot clock. Cada wants it down low, had to look for it. Instead, Boone's gonna keep it himself all the way to the rack. Wild shot misses long. Cada had the rebound, knocked away by Dabami. He wanted a foul, but got the steal anyway. And FIU has it back down by 2. Jackson drives, loses it back to WKU. Ladie Jackson couldn't hold on the drive.
Just lost it, didn't he?
And just lost off his foot.
Yep, off his foot.
And all the numbers you mentioned make it even more important that those guards have not turned it over. Again, still just 5 turnovers for WKU. FIU forcing 15.6 per game. That's 13th in the country. They average nearly 10 steals per game. That's 7th nationally. And they've only got 4 in this game. Murdix holding up top, denies the screen from Newell. Stuck on the block, now spins back out. Halfway through the shot clock once again. Jackson switches on defensively. Newell sealing off, now gets it 12 feet from the basket.
Has a little mismatch on the height.
Flips it up with the left hand, missed it short. Cada battling for it for WKU, falls down as he was trying to get it from Ola Inca.
I believe they call a jump ball on that.
They do, and the arrow keeps it with WKU. And a good job by Ola Inca to go for that.
No, they did call a foul on that.
Yeah, they get it on Dabami.
And Dabami is just shrugging his shoulders out there like, what happened on that play?
That's his 3rd foul. I was going to say it was a good job by Ola Inca not to foul and pick up his 4th, but instead Dabami picks up his 3rd, so they're both in the same club together. Hafner gets it in the right corner off the inbound. Everything you talked about with the guards makes it even more important how good Hafner has been off the bench with his 3 threes and 11 points. Murdix wraps around, flips it up short. Cada comes up with it again for WKU. He has 9 rebounds, 7 have been on the offensive glass.
Boy, he's been big in there. You know, that's one thing for him. He's not the most athletic looking player, but he's got a big body and big size in there. And, you know, sometimes you just have to have a nose for the ball.
Olajuwon picked up the foul on Cada after that rebound. On the season, 47% of his rebounds have been offensive, averaging 9.7 boards per game over the last 3 coming into this one. He's got 9 rebounds to go along with 6 points. He's a perfect 3 for 3 from the floor. Unsettled contested look from the left corner, misses long. Cada was just walking backwards so that he wouldn't pick up a foul against Olajuwon, and FIU comes up with it. Inside of 10 minutes left to go. FIU just 11 points scored so far in this second half. Left side, good look for Stevenson all the way around and out, but Olajuwon keeps it alive. Panthers now with 8 offensive rebounds of their own. WKU have 37 team rebounds. The majority have been offensive, 19 of them. 8 on the shot clock. Jackson, tough step back from the right elbow, misses long. Multiple players on the floor fighting for it. Panthers have it initially. It's Stevenson that went down to grab it. They call another jump ball, and the arrow sends it to WKU. That last one that we thought was the arrow ended up being a foul, so that keeps the arrow in WKU's favor. As Unsettled and Cada were in there to tie it up. Cada will check out after that sequence. And WKU is going to go with a smaller lineup here. Newell will really function as the only forward. The 6'9" wing, surrounded by 4 guards with Murdix, Myers, Boone, and Hafner. Murdix gives it over to Newell on the right wing. He has the mismatch against Olajuwon. Fakes right, jabs left, now goes up with it on the right block and draws contact, and will go to the line for 2 free throws.
Well, aggressive play by Grant Newell on that one. Just continue to put pressure on the Florida International defender there. You know, they did a pretty good job keeping his hands up, but he just got a little too close with the chest and body.
When you've got a team in FIU that functions in a lot more of a traditional lineup, 3 guards, 2 bigs, WKU almost always has 4 guards and a big, and that's counting Newell as a guard because he plays out on the wing. When you've got him down there as your 5th player in the lineup, it is a matchup nightmare to figure out who's going to cover him.
Yeah, it is, and you know, I think Coach Plone is probably trying to give his 2 bigs a little bit of a break, but also this is a change in the set, as you'd mentioned there, and create a little different look on the interior there with bringing all 4 out. Maybe Florida International can't double team as much in the paint area.
Newell had shot just 27% from the floor, 19% from 3 over the last 4 games. He's got 21 tonight on 7 for 13 shooting and 5 for 8 from 3. The 8th straight game overall he's been in double figures. That ball lost off the foot. They say it's incidental for Boone, and Murdix gets it to go. The goaltending knocked it inside anyways. I was surprised there they didn't get a kick ball against Boone, but I guess they say it was unintentional. And WKU pushes this lead out to 6.
Well, and Williamson for Florida International, that's what he was pleading. As soon as the play occurred prior to this layup, there was a kick ball down there. There was a no call, incidental contact that led to the run out.
Unless the ruling there is it was just thrown right into the foot of Boone. Ula Inca back in to run the show. He gives it off in the right corner to Jackson. He's fouled on the drive. And Zadie Jackson will go to the line for 2 free throws. FIU now in the bonus. Nope, they'll need 1 more. 5 fouls for WKU, 5 fouls for the Panthers.
And Jackson did a good job. You know, he was in the corner. Sometimes that they've been pulling up in that corner, but this time he had a nice up fake, took the dribble into the rim and got the foul.
Jackson will take 2 free throws, an 85% shooter on the season. The Panthers 6 for 6 for the game. WKU 4 for 6. Jackson's first falls through.
Tyler, I take it that 85%, he probably really hasn't taken that many foul shots, has he?
He's actually averaging 4.4 per game. They've got 4 players that take at least 4 per game, led by Stevenson at his 5.5. Jackson gets there about 4.5 times.
Wow.
I mentioned earlier how much they get to the line. WKU, we talk about that, and it's so much. Tegan Moore, who again out today for the Hilltoppers, once again his 5th straight game where he's been unavailable. But for FIU, it's really a balanced effort, and tonight it's only been 2 people. Jackson and Tabami have taken all 8, both of them 4 for 4, and now they're deficit 4. Murdoch's guarded by Sukotsky on the right wing. Now gets the switch against Stevenson. Wraps with a reverse layup and gets it to go. Terrion Murdoch's with his 3rd bucket of the game.
Well, that time Newell stayed on the perimeter of it and opened up the lane in the paint area for Murdoch's to drive.
Stevenson right elbow jumper. Swishes it home. He's hit a few from that range so far today.
He's starting to get more active, isn't he?
He's up to 13 points now for the Panthers after, to us, what we thought was such a notably quiet first half for him.
Yeah,
just 6 points.
I don't think he scored in the first 10 minutes of the ball game.
He didn't, and hit a couple of threes as that first half went on. Had only taken 1 shot through the first 8 minutes. Hilltoppers have 8 seconds here. Newell fakes, got his defender in the air, but instead looks to pass it. 5 on the shot clock. Hafner fires from the top of the key. It's blocked by Dabami, and here comes FIU the other way, down by 4. Left wing 3, deep off the line, around and out. Ooh. Charging in to get the rebound is Dabami. He crashes down in the effort, was fouled on the putback try.
Yeah, Murdoch was trying to block out, maybe got just underneath Dabami when he went up to try to rebound that. Hopefully he's okay and shake it off.
Should be 2 free throws when we come back. 57-53, WKU leading it, but FIU with a chance to cut that deficit to 2 as we wind down in this one from Diddle Arena. Back with you at WKU. The Hilltoppers will stay here on their end of the floor. They were reviewing to see, it's actually FIU basketball, they were reviewing to see if that foul was going to be upgraded from a common foul to a flagrant foul against Cam Hafner with the contact against Dabami. We thought it might be a shooting foul. They rule it a common foul. They look at the review, say they're not going to upgrade it. So instead of 2 free throws, it's an inbound play for the Panthers, who will get 1 of the bonus for any fouls that WKU commits now, with the Hilltoppers having racked up 6 here in this second half.
Was that foul on Hafner or Murdoch's?
They had it against Hafner, and that's what Ryan McCarty, who you said earlier has done a great job clarifying everything with us, once again said.
I thought on the tie-up underneath there is Murdoch's. He came up with the ball, so that's what kind of confused me there.
Myers will bring it up after the turnover by Britt Harris, his 3rd of the game. Now 10 for the Panthers, still just 5 for WKU. Newell's pass batted into the WKU bench. Heads up play by Sukotsky. Otherwise, would have been a clean look for 3 for Hafner in that right corner.
Yeah, a lot of rotation. Western Kentucky really spread the floor coming out of that timeout.
They've got Keita back in, so it's no longer that 5-guard lineup. He gets it from Myers, trying to spring Hafner open and can't. Now it goes to Boone. 5 on the shot clock. Boone left side jumper. Doesn't get the bounce. Tipped. Who's it last touched by? FIU pleading that it should go their way, but it's going to stay with the Hilltoppers. Britt Harris was the one waving at Coach Ballard that it should be FIU basketball.
Yeah, you see the inside position that Keita was able to get as soon as he saw the shot going up. He was immediately taking position against the Florida National player and was fighting for it and caused the extra effort there.
Myers
Possession.
clung on to by Ola Inca on the drive. That's his 4th foul. And now both teams in the bonus.
Tyler, coming into this game, Florida International was averaging 84 points per game, is that right?
Overall, 83 points per game on the season. They're 79 in conference play, the #1 mark in CUSA. Hafner with a right corner 3, and he drains it off the catch.
And I don't know if it's really Western Kentucky's defense that's slowing this game down for Florida International.
Well, that 50% halftime shooting percentage has dwindled down to 42% now for the Panthers. Off the first miss, second try, no good for Jackson, but foul called underneath. And down after the play
Second effort by Jackson, and they're off the first miss. And he's not the one, we talked about it earlier, he's not the one that you want to foul, but there's Jackson staying with it.
There's Cada down after the initial contact. Like you referenced, Jackson, an 85% free throw shooter. He went 9 for 10 on Wednesday in that win against MTSU, and he makes the first of these two. FIU now 9 for 9 at the free throw line. They're 10-5 on the season when they make more free throws than their opponents, but only 4-5 in Conference USA. Although notable, that's 9 of the 11 games they played in CUSA. They've made more free throws than their opponents. The only ones to make more than them were Missouri State and Jacksonville State. They've taken 10 to WKU 6 so far in this one, but trail it now by 5. Boone to Myers on the right wing. Catch and shoot 3. Bang!
Well, he's either looked good making them or he's looked really, really bad missing them.
He's up to 6 points now with his second triple of the night. WKU up by 8. Left corner 3. The response off the hand of Zadie Jackson.
Boy, Jackson's picked it up in the last few minutes, being much more aggressive offensively. A couple drives, three-pointer there.
Panthers now 6 for 15 from 3. WKU 13 for 35. Their season high 14. They've done it twice. Once in Conference USA play against Sam Houston. Newell driving right side, able to seal off. No good. Boom, flushed it back, but it was still in the cylinder.
I think
wave it off.
Yeah, I think it was going down for Newell also.
I think you're right with as long as that hung up inside the rim. Newell pleading with the official after the fact for a foul on the contact from behind from Dabami. But it goes FIU's way. Here comes Stevenson hopping through the lane. Kicks it out left corner. Harris for 3. Got it! And just like that, it's a 2-point game. WKU had pushed it out to an 8-point lead. Their largest of the game. And what about that response from the Panthers?
A couple back-to-back threes. Dribble penetration and the kickouts.
A lot of contact on both elbows. It's Boone that gets it. Now Newell up top, guarded by Dabami. With his 3 fouls, Newell drives left off the fake, seals him off behind, and finishes on the left block. Beautiful move and body control on the drive from Grant Newell.
Well, Newell faked it one way, drew Dabami's eyes one direction, and that opened the left drive up all the way to the rim for Newell on that little bit of a Euro action.
Grant Newell up to 23 points to lead the way for WKU. He was doing it from 3-point range in the first half. There he does it off the drive, and the Hilltoppers lead it by 4 with 4.5 minutes left to go. 65-61, WKU leading it over FIU. Just 4.5 minutes left to go in this one. The Hilltoppers 13 for 35 from 3-point range. They took 35 when they made their Conference USA high 14 against Sam Houston. Their season high in attempts 36 against Louisiana Tech. They found most of their points in this one from 3-point range. They started this second half, Craig, trying to get inside, get to the paint, and it really feels like the way this has worked out is they shifted back to the 3 ball. FIU had to extend out to stop it, and since then the Hilltoppers have been able to attack really over the last 3-4 minutes.
Yeah, they've changed the focus with putting Newell at that 5 spot or 4 spot and getting the ball into his hands at either side of the elbows, and allowing him to put it on the floor against the Florida International bigs inside there. Here's another aspect that you had mentioned coming into this one. Western Kentucky, 15 assists. What does that mean, Tyler?
Under Hank Plona, they are 18-2 with at least 14 on this season. 8-2 went undefeated when they did it last year. On the block, it looked like another opportunity for an assist for Sukotsky. It was dropped. Now it's kicked out to the left wing. 3, no good, but a foul called on the closeout. I don't think the contact is going to be for what happened up top with Boone. I think he got under the shooter and didn't give him space to land.
Yeah,
get another look at it.
Because at the end of the play, Boone wasn't even anywhere close to it. It didn't seem that way. See, he was already retreating away from it, but his feet got tangled up underneath the shooter, didn't allow him a chance to come down safely onto the floor.
First free throw misses for Britt Harris.
You know, it was incidental. Boone wasn't trying to do that. He was just turning and going in to get the rebound.
Well, it's a more modern foul that really became emphasized. It started with the NBA when Kawhi Leonard got hurt badly on a play like that, landing when that space underneath him was taken away. And once those things get emphasized at the next level, it all trickles down. It was the right call.
Player safety.
As Harris makes 2 of the 3 free throws, and WKU's lead is 2. Murdix brings it across. He stuffed the stat sheet. 6 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 of WKU's 5 steals. No Newell right now, so we'll see where the offense comes from. Hafner driving left, stuck on the elbow. Myers has it blocked, but now a foul called against Sukotsky. He immediately signals over to his bench for a review, and just shaking his head is Coach Ballard. He's already lost a challenge, won a challenge and lost a challenge in the first half. But it'll be 3 free throws for Ryan Myers. An 89% shooter on the season. Swish is the first.
Yeah, Sukotsky out here with the referee at midcourt, still trying to plead his case a little bit.
How about back-to-back fouls on 3-point tries? And the second for Myers, perfect. Myers now up to 8 points. After a silent first half, has hit a couple of threes here in the second. And gets all 3 at the free throw line there to put the lead back up to 5. Sukotsky brings it across quickly. Leaves it off down low. Dabami contested. Immediately the whistle blows. Jump ball to call. It'll stay with FIU. Hilltoppers have started to pick up on the fact that when Sukotsky drives, his goal is not to score. He wants to drop it off to Dabami off those pick and rolls.
Yeah, he's always looking for him. As you said, that they were teammates at another level there. And, you know, Dabami, he's only scored 4 points here in the second half after scoring 8 in the first half and looking really good. Western Kentucky has really defended him much better.
Britt Harris gets around Boone initially, tries to leave it for Dabami, lost it. It's picked up by Murdix, who leaves it for Boone. And now Murdix will bring it into the front court. Inside 3.5 minutes left to go. 11th turnover for FIU. Murdix, a couple of crossovers, gets the left block, scoops it underneath. Keita finishes with the right hand. How did Murdix fit that ball in?
Boy, he fed it right into the belly of Keita.
Contact down low, no call. Another loose ball fought for. Myers wins it for WKU. Wanted the run initially, is cut off. Now it's back on the floor. Still loose, bodies flying everywhere. Whistle blows, and FIU got a timeout as diving on it was Stevenson with 2:57 left to go in the ball game. What a sequence.
Yeah, Myers thought he had it there for a moment.
And Stevenson, a great job there of putting his entire body on top of the ball to where nobody could tie it up.
Well, they pinched Myers when Myers was trying to come back out. Florida International players did a great job. They both pinched him and were able to knock the ball away and create that tie-up, which led to the turnover.
Very interested to see here in the final 2:57 of this game how much we see of Corey Stevenson. It's been a quiet game overall, but really here over the last 3-4 minutes, it's been especially quiet for him. We've seen Britt Harris. We've seen Jackson make some plays along the way. You mentioned Dabami with his 12 points. Stevenson tied for the team lead with 13 points with Jackson, but it's been a quiet 13. 5 for 11 from the floor. He is 3 for 5 from three-point range, but coming off a career-high 34 points, he scored 20 in 3 straight games coming into today. Feels like this is a spot where Coach Ballard is going to ask his star to try and take over this game.
No doubt. We'll see if he tries to run some sets for him coming out of this timeout here. You've got to create opportunities for him. You know, with Western Kentucky taking all these 3-point attempts here this afternoon, there was one stat that was in the Florida International notes today. They had a single player take 24 attempts back in 1999 against Northern Illinois. 24 attempts, and you would think that maybe he might be the leader in 3 points made. No.
It was like if they took one of us out there and said, here, you got a full game, just do what you want.
But have you ever heard that? 24 3-point attempts in a game?
I'd hate to think of what would happen if they put one of us two in and let us have 24 attempts. More so me than you.
Well, just a little tidbit. We got a good game here the last 3 minutes.
As we get back underway out of the timeout. Right now, Jackson has it. Stevenson trying to come up and flare open on the left wing. Instead, Jackson keeps it himself. Goes up with a right hand. He's fouled on the drive as Cada came in to help.
Well, you mentioned the possibility of Jackson stepping up. He immediately created the contact here, driving down the right of the lane. We've seen him do that a couple times in this game and get rewarded with opportunities at the line.
These are two teams that have taken at least 20 free throw attempts in over 80% of their games combined. It creeps closer to 90% between the two of them. FIU now 12 for 14, WKU just 7 for 9, but their number has dipped significantly without Teagan Moore. They're averaging just 18.4 attempts over the last 5, which includes the game that Teagan was hurt in against Liberty and now has missed the last 4. On the season, they averaged 25, so that's a massive dip for the Hilltoppers.
Well, and they're just not aggressive, not as aggressive in this particular game, driving to the basket is what they normally are.
50% of their shots, three-pointers, 35 of 70 as Myers flips it in off the glass. Late in the game, it shifted to what they can do inside the arc, and now the Hilltoppers lead it by 8. Stevenson fades from 12 feet, well defended by Myers, and it's rebounded by Boone. He's got 7 boards for the game, just 1 for 10 from the floor, and there has it knocked away from behind by Jackson. Free layup in transition, and the Hilltopper lead is cut to 6. Talk so much about those turnovers. WKU with 7, Boone with 3 of them. It's been a rough day for the freshman in his 3rd game back after missing a couple. Newell has it knocked away from behind, able to collect it at the last moment, gives it to Boone. Down low, Cada, defender flies over him. And Cada will go to the line. It should be just a foul before the shot was taking place, so a 1-and-1 opportunity as flying through was Ola Inca, and that's going to be his 5th.
Yeah, Cada did a good job of just gathering himself on the pump fake. And fortunately that there was no issues on the player control. Kind of did hit his chin there somewhat on the hardwood floor, but he'll get some extra time to think about it.
Cada, another great game for WKU. 8 points, 4 for 4 from the floor, 10 rebounds. Averaging nearly 10 per game his last 3 coming into this one. Had 14 rebounds in the last win for WKU a couple of games ago against MTSU. He's got a chance at the line for a 1-and-1 opportunity where he's 18 for 28 on the season. WKU 7 for 9 for the game and leading it by 6. Still a lot of time left to go in this one. The first one swishes through. That's one thing between he and ODI, the two bigs do extremely well. ODI on the season 11 for 13 at the free throw line.
Maybe that's where they need to play offensively in the post, right?
And Cada
foul line jumpers.
Makes both free throws, and now he's got a double-double, 10 points and 10 rebounds. Jackson on the right wing, guarded by Murdoch. Screen comes from DeBami, lost it on the drive, whistle blows. Foul will be called, and now double bonus situation, I believe, for FIU, and everything will be 2 free throws.
Well, you saw Murdoch trying to come in from that backside, kind of got a hold of him with his left arm.
And it's Jackson, the 85% free throw shooter on the season, coming off a 9 for 10 performance at the Stripe Wednesday against MTSU. He is 7 for 8 so far today.
It almost looked like Murdoch was trying to allow Jackson the opportunity to drive so he could try to come in from that backside and steal it.
Both teams forgot that it was a double bonus situation. whistles blow, it's a 2-shot spot. I don't think anybody from either side heard that there was a double bonus spot. WKU trying to say that it is a 1-and-1 situation, but I think the number on the scoreboard is going to win that argument.
You got that. Well, at least they blew the horn trying to stop play on that. But normally the referees make it very clear that it's a 2-shot.
Second one does go through, and it's 74-67.
Obviously, Fuller International picking up the pressure in the backcourt.
Here comes Boone! I think that's how
what happens. That's what happens if you can break the pressure.
Up top, Stevenson fires a 3, way off the mark, and the Hilltoppers in full control with 1:23 left to go. Just the second field goal of the game for Armello Boone. But I'd say that's a pretty solid way to get it.
Yeah, here's the opening for Boone. Just split the defenders.
And nearly split the rim in half.
You know, this last shot by Stevenson was kind of epitome of his day there a little bit. You know, he got going there, started the second half, but
Keita slams it home off the feed from Boone, and the lead is double figures for WKU.
But epitome of that with the air ball on the 3. Good find on the inside to Keita.
Newell guarding Stevenson now, steps back for the elbow, jumper misses short, and WKU has it with less than a minute left to go.
His Super Bowl day didn't go too well, did it?
Boone tries a left corner 3. Rattles all the way around and out, but it's rebounded by Myers. His scoop, no. Boone tried to flush it, couldn't connect. Here comes FIU, trailing by 11. Stolen away by Murdix. He'll walk it into the front court with 35 seconds left. That's the experience of the grad transfer from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Newell on the elbow, kicks it out. Myers all alone for 3. Misses long. Rebound taken down. And FIU will bring it up down by 11.
Well, and Western Kentucky is going to get a hard-fought win on this. You know, Florida International looked really, really good probably that first 8 minutes of this ball game with their defense intensity and everything. But Stevenson never could get it going for him today. Looks a little tired out there to me. Yeah. Tyler, he's kind of been over there, but never really could get his game going.
It was a 65-63 game in favor of WKU as we hit the 4-minute mark remaining in this game. Since then, the Hilltoppers had rattled off a 13-4 run before that free throw to take full control. After trailing by 8 at the break, the Hilltoppers are on their way to moving to 6-7 in Conference USA play. And we had discussed it at that halftime break, Craig, that with the way that FIU played in that opening half, if WKU found a way to come back and win it, you just got to call it a good win.
Yeah. What do you think about Hank Plona bringing Hafner into this game for a young man that hadn't played the last 3 games? I think that was a big dynamic in this game, especially in the first half when Hafner hit, he hit 3 threes in the first half, and I think that just changed the offensive flow and rotation that has been struggling in Western Kentucky in the last half dozen games.
WKU doesn't win this game without the heroics of Hafner. They don't win it without the heroics of Newell in the first half. And the first career WKU double-double from Blaze Keita, the first one all the way back when he was at Nebraska a few years ago. And he gets number 2 here today as his role is expanded. We mentioned earlier, no Noah Boyd for WKU, had been starting at center. The 7-foot senior had been averaging 22 minutes per game in Conference USA play before missing the last now 4 games. And WKU gets performances from everyone to step up with no Tegan Moore once again. And with the late bucket from Dabami to pad the stats by 2, the Hilltoppers are going to walk away with an 80-7 win here today inside Diddle Arena. 13 3-pointers rained in by the Hilltoppers. like we talked about, Craig, as that second half went on, they were able to establish things more inside, and despite just shooting 37% from the floor in this ball game, they take 20 more shots than the Panthers, thanks to 21 offensive rebounds.
Because of the rebounds, yes, there you go. I'm glad you were going there on that one, because that's what gave them so many extra opportunities. It wasn't so much on the defensive end for them, but it was just an extra effort plays. I think, and Grant Newell had a big part for this too. He's our player of the game, 23 points, 5 of 8. He hit both of his threes in the second half. He made 3 threes in the first half, 2 in the second half.
They were all
5 for
together.
the game. They were strings, weren't they? He hit 3 threes consecutively, two threes in the second half.
And they were all done in sequences that gave WKU the lead when they absolutely needed it. And how about that young man that we just fist bumped, Cam Hafner? You had talked about it a little bit, 14 points after not playing in the last 3 games for WKU. That's the surprise development for everybody. And then this young man, Blaze Cato, with his first double-double for the Hilltoppers. It's an all-around effort for WKU here tonight. We listed Newell as the player of the game, but in a game like this, it's really tough to list just one guy, because without any of one of those guys that we talked about, WKU doesn't win this game.
Exactly. You know, so here, the odd part about this is they made threes.
Yeah.
When this team has been struggling so much of late, but they stayed after it. The second effort, the third efforts, opportunity to go get a loose ball. I think that's what Hank Plone is going to enjoy about his team's effort tonight.
A massive win here today for Hank Plone as the Hilltoppers move to 6-7 in Conference USA play, stay firmly in that top 10 and position to make the Conference USA tournament. FIU falls to 4-8 in the conference slate. For my partner, Craig McCormick, and our entire ESPN Plus team here at WKU, I'm Tyler Eaton. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Conference USA Basketball on ESPN Plus.